Oh, is that?
Okay.
All right.
Drive him almost every day.
Yeah.
Tell me how you see it.
Hi. I'm Margaret.
Hi, Margaret. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And this is Cade.
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 Okay. I'm like Cain and Abel. Oh. Cade.
He's 7 and still green.
Okay. What breed is he?
Oldenburg.
Oh, okay, dokie. Where'd you get him?
From my eventing trainer in Ocala.
Okay, very cool.
Tell him why.
Okay, when was that?
10 months ago.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, we've been working together for about months. You and I, we've been 10 months. Okay. So
I had only had him 2 weeks.
oh, that's right. You brought him last summer.
gotcha.
And he was sold from the eventing farm because he's too looky and too reactive.
Okay.
Okay. Now he's gotten so much better.
Yes.
So much better. But
Yeah, it was a sale barn, and he went to the bottom of the list because she had to put work in him to sell him.
Yeah.
So I ended up picking him up in summer because she didn't sell him during season.
Right.
So, but he's made tremendous progress in 10 months. It's a different horse.
so she rides him. I started riding him once a week, maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you find the most trouble with?
Contact, keeping the contact on the bit during our walk to trot transitions.
Like, head up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we pick up our right lead canter, he's very weak and he falls in, and it's really hard for him.
Okay, so the right lead in general is just hard.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let me just see him a little bit. And he's only 7.
Yeah.
A lot on his getting stronger in the back end. He travels fairly straight. He just completely falls out the right side. When we first got him, he was like riding a jump sail.
Yeah, all over the place. He's really handsome. Yeah. And the goal, what's your goal with him?
Well, he also jumps.
Yeah.
So she has a jumping trainer, so he's going 3.6.
Yeah.
I don't know what our goal is. Our goal is whatever he
Wants to do. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I love all the dressage work that we're doing with him, and he's doing very, very well.
With that. Yeah, exactly.
So I like him to do high children's jumpers, but I would also like him to move forward in dressage as well.
Yep. Well, and it's really amazing. Sometimes I ride some jumping horses, and I'm just like, oh my god. And like, even my eventing students, more so than even like jumpers, I'm just like, how do you take this thing anywhere? I feel like totally out of balance, and the last thing I want to do is go jump it, and it's like, so the dressage could change direction. So the dressage is so important, no matter what he wants to do. I mean, he looks so athletic. And like, look at that round booty. Like, he's just like this little powerhouse, And you're just like, which is why as a young horse, they just like get themselves in trouble because they're just like, I'm athletic and powerful and not under control. I'm not under control of myself yet. Like, I don't make good choices yet. Very good. 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 So on this 20-meter circle, so when we talk about like that right lead canter is hard, like for me, he's oh yeah, we're gonna put your the camera thing on. Your tracking device, so don't go run off into the woods or anything because we'll be able to find you. So like when we talk about like this whole thing about, you're welcome, good job. Pilgrim's like, I'm tired now. I was kind of tired when I started, but now I'm really tired. Gabe's like, I'm not tired. I'm never tired.
He gets sassy.
I can tell.
Papers when he was a baby.
Yes.
I got his papers, and the first one was he's very full of himself.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
He's the one we were talking about of maybe
Right. I know. And it's so funny because Stefan's always like, I really want collaboration. I'm like, that is a bunch of baloney. I'm like, Stefan Peters, you're amazing. But I'm like, no. I've seen you ride at home. You want also submission. So don't say submission is a dirty word. Like, you need to do what I tell you because that's what's happening. But when we talk about like that whole thing about the right lead canter, that's just being one-sided and like dominant on one side and like weak on the other. And what's cool about him is he's very strong. Like he's strong-willed, he's strong-muscled, and he's just strongly put together. And so why that becomes way more obvious than like another horse is that there's just so much athleticism here that like when he's a little bit off, he's like a lot off. You know what I mean? Instead of like, it's kind of right, exactly. Pilgrim's kind of like, I pull on the left rein, and you're like, it doesn't look that bad. And she's like, he's so heavy. I'm like, and like this one's like, I can't canter. And then you're like, whoa, this is like a lot happening. But it's just because he's got so much power and he doesn't always know what to do with it. And so we have to really focus our program, no matter what you decide to do, eventing, show jumping, like whatever. This horse needs to get round and supple and straight. So on this circle, I want you to gently bend him to the outside because we're going to leg yield into a smaller circle because I want to get his torso softer. Good. So I want you to push him a little bit from your left leg through your right rein to a smaller circle so that you eventually, the center of the circle is the same, but he's only like 10 meters from the center. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Step by step. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Good girl. Good. Playful on the left rein because again, just like Pilgrim, he's going to want pull on that left rein. Why? Because 98% of them all want to do that. Good. Soften the left rein, but keep him bent left and keep him moving into a smaller circle. Smaller circle. Good. And what we're looking for is on the top of his bum that his tail relaxes and his hips start to rotate a little bit more even. When he's on the opposite side of the circle, I want to see his other hip. Like right now, I want to see the right hip, right hip, right hip, and I don't see it quite yet. Now I want to see the like left hip up. I'm seeing it more. But I want to get that to his tail is kind of up, and he has sometimes what we call like not a total flag tail, but he always has it a bit up because he's a little bit defensive. He still wants to be a little tight in the neck, a little tight in the back. Good. And now smaller circles, smaller, smaller. Good. And we haven't seen the neck muscle yet. It's coming. Smaller circle. Good. Smaller circle. Good. Now stay trotting. Stay trotting. And now bend him back to the right, but don't let the circle get bigger. So stay there with your outside leg and now soften the left rein a little bit. Good. Something changed in the pelvis. Now we see the neck muscle. Keep your right rein stable. I want to see a muscle right below his main line. And you see him struggle with it. Like he gets there and then he does, and then he gets there and then he's tense again. Good. Good girl. Keep your right rein steady and stable. And now soften the left rein again. Stroke his neck on the left and increase your right calf. Aha. Good, because every time he puts his neck down, he's going to raise that back up. Every time he raises the back up, the tail is going to come down and swing a little bit more. That's getting better. The pelvis is starting to unlock a little. Good, and this is the kind of horse that the canter would have a tendency to be explosive because he's just kind of like wound tight in his body. And we got to like slowly like unnerve all of that. Good. Good, and the whole submission thing and obedience thing is like, put your head down and look at the ground. Stare at the ground, you know what I mean? And he's kind of like, he's not so like your mare who's like, but he's very keen, he's very smart, really athletic, and sort of ready all the time. He has what we call quick twitch muscles. I love it. Good, let's change. Ah, nice. nice. And that's what we're looking for, his eye to soften, his ears to be softly moving and chewing on the bit, change direction. The tail is now really swinging, and it's swinging evenly through both directions. And now I start to, like, when I look right behind the saddle, between like the back of the saddle and the top of his tail, I want to see his sacrum swinging, because he's got this way, he's so athletic and sharp, that then this looseness and this suppleness isn't his first go-to. But the good news is we can teach him to do that. Good girl. Good swinging. I want to see the right hip up, the right hip up. The tail's going up, and the tail to go down, and the back of the saddle to go up. Good girl. Good. Nice. Good. And I'd like a little bit more natural over the next couple of months. I want a little natural, more roundness in his neck. Good. Good. And now gently change your bend, and we're going to start to leg yield into that smaller circle. Because where he has to get supple is in his torso, in his hips, in his torso. Good. Smaller circle, smaller circle, smaller circle, step by step. Good. Keep trotting, keep trotting, keep trotting. Oh, turning. Good. Good. Yes. Sit, 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 sit. Trotting, trotting, trotting. Good. Not quite so much bend to the right. Try to keep him a tiny bit straighter. Smaller circle. Good. Make him work. Jump in there. Because he's got a very strong back. Very strong hips and loins. So you got a little tiny body. You kind of got to like jump in there and start to like rearrange him a little bit. Good. Now allow him to bend back to the left. The good news is a horse with this kind of back end has enough power for days. I'm sure you know that and you have felt that. Sometimes not with what we want him to be doing. But that is a haunch that can freaking jump, you know, like that's amazing. Or canter pirouette maybe, like whatever he wants to do. We don't know yet what he wants to excel at. Inside leg, and put him a little bit rounder. Good. And when he gets stiff like that in the contact and in his neck, I want you to think a little bit, look at me for a second. I want you to go, when you're posting, kind of swing it, swing it, swing it. Good. Because that's going to help swing his back. Aha. Something's getting different. Good. Left shoulder back, left shoulder back, left shoulder back, left leg, tap, tap, left leg, knock on that door. Aha! There he opened his back, and now ride him a tiny bit more forward. Very good. Trotting, trotting, left shoulder back, swing his back. Every piece, like what's fun about a horse like this is that his body is less obedient than his brain. Where your mare, her brain is less obedient than her body, you know? And it's like if you get this horse's body to become like butter, I mean, sky's the limit with whatever sport you want to do. Good. Left leg. Ask that question. Come on, buddy. Raise up that back. Drop that neck. Good. Left shoulder back. Swing his back. Left shoulder back to move your seat bones. Seat bone him onto the saddle. Good job. Swinging, swinging. Active hind leg, active hind leg, active hind leg. Awesome. You feel that? Very good. Keep that up. Because he's going to be like, wait a minute. I'm outputting energy, and I'm not in charge of that. So he's like not going to love that. And so you got to be like, no, let's go. I'd love him to snort. I would love him to swing a little bit more forward. And that's how you've got to like tame this little gray beast. Good girl. Change direction. Because he's gonna kind of hold back on you. Good. 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 Right leg on. Going forward. Going forward. Going forward. Good long stride. Push him. Push him. Push him. Push him. Good job. Good.